Welcome to Factorio, building the Hyperbase. A Hyperbase is just a very large base. I have some idea exactly how large it's going to be. I will tell you this at this point. It will be larger than a 6K per minute science, including rockets base. We'll get into more details as we go, but that will do for now. In my last series I built the starter base. It's reasonable. We are doing about 80, I guess, is it? Apparently not even 80 science per minute. Mainly because the green circuits, we carefully calculated how much we needed, but it still doesn't appear to be enough. And the reason is there are actually some belts here that are not able to unload all the time. So we may be able to get this to work just by pushing some red belt through these, because these are just standard transport belts at the moment. If we make them red, just the ones in the middle, probably not so worried about the two that are dedicated to red circuits. Red circuits seems to have enough. Red and green pretty much to the end, and red doesn't appear to be a problem. If we come down here, we appear to have enough red. So yeah, if we just speed up the green circuits for starters, which we can do by making them red, maybe adding one or two if need be, but we'll start off with just getting them to be red. Let's have a look. Just go away. First of all, I am going to auto trash the normal belt. Let's now request some red belt, probably in the amount of, whoops, not that many, 1,000. Let's just put some standard orders in here. Now that we have bots, they can deliver it all to us. That certainly helps. Alright. Over to the green circuits. There's actually a couple of things that I need to do to get to the situation that I want to be in before we can really commence with our builds. The other is the copper up here is currently reliant on this rapidly shrinking copper field, so it's probably going to struggle in the not too distant future to fulfill that, so we need to add a train station and hook into the supply of copper here. But we'll do the red belt upgrading first. I can probably ignore the first four, so if we come into here, I'm going to ignore the outer. So we've got 6 lanes here. The 2 outermost ones I'm actually going to ignore as well. We are just going to upgrade the 4 inner ones. They're the ones that go all the way. Actually, we are going to need to do... It's not going to work if we do not... Whoops. If we do not upgrade all of the sorry, not the inserters, the splitters. If we don't upgrade the splitters, it's not going to work, so we're going to have to do that. Looks like in 17 you'll be able to use what amounts to an upgrade planner to do this automatically, and then I probably wouldn't bother being so pedantic over which bits I'm upgrading and which bits I'm not. I would just probably just do the whole lot. And we're not going to blue belt. The belt here is only going to survive to a certain point, and then we will be moving to train bot base, so I will tell you that that is what we're doing. I'm not going to do a train only base. That has been done very effectively to create a 10k per minute base. It's not necessarily my goal to try and beat that number. It certainly is my goal to try and retain the capability of a modern PC to do 60 UPS. So that probably puts some limitations on just how far we can go. We are already out of the splitters, so I guess it's time to head back to the make everything. Yeah, let's up splitter numbers to 100. The other thing I obviously need to do is get myself a fully upgraded power armor fairly quickly. Let's auto trash those and those as well. I believe I finished off by building recycling for all of these things, so we should be fine in that regard. Right, let's see if we can go a little bit further this time with twice as many splitters. This construction certainly does use a lot of splitters. So, you know, maybe an upgrade planner would have been a wise additional mod, but given that it's not really a belt playthrough, we will run with what we have got. If this bit takes too long, I might even post-edit it out, but I don't guarantee that I will, because it takes quite a while to find the bits that you talk about editing out unless you know for sure, and then just don't record, which is what I have been doing. But we're already to where this circuit build meets the main base. So it shouldn't take too much longer. Okay, these lanes need to be upgraded. Right. Problem is with these belts is it's kind of easy to accidentally miss one, although the flow of the circuit should make it fairly easy to see that. Because you'll see a gap in the compressed in the number of compressed I mean a hole when you've got a compressed belt is pretty easy to spot when there's fast belt. It gets harder as the belt gets less compressed. That's what I'm trying to say. At least we'll have more room shortly. Now these things to have full throughput should actually have splitters on the end, but in my view you don't really need them because you go into splitters at the end here anyway, so you get that effect soon enough. Ouch. That's what that was supposed to do. So here we're only splitting off a yellow, which is entirely satisfactory. And we are out of, but we're very close to the supply of these things. Actually, what I might do is whoops, yeah, do that. Cut that back to 50. So that was pretty convenient. No, I have not done those. Have I done them anywhere? To do them up there, but I've forgotten from here on down, and you can see the effect, the immediate effect of it. So let's fix those and those. No, that's not the end of blue circuits. Blue circuits are still way down here. Although having a compressed belt at this point is something that we didn't have previously, I think. So we should already be a little bit better off. Okay, so we are out of the undergrounds again, but we are now supplying blue a little bit better. Is it getting all the way? Well, we might as well finish off the exercise. We're very close to finishing. In fact, I will reduce that to about 600. And grab a sip of coffee. Where exactly did we get up to here? Okay. They're fast already. And is that the last one? No, this one also goes to blue, so I will additionally make this red as well. But I think from this point on it can carry on as just yellow. At least that was the initial intention. Now let's have a look. Are we fully supplying blue? We are fully supplying blue. Without needing any further inputs into the lines here. So that was kind of the idea. Ooh, that is a problem. It looks like our supply of iron is struggling here. Okay. Yeah, these three are not actually getting served at all. Which is not great. I might have to go back and upgrade these to red and steel furnaces, but given that we actually are getting our blues fully operational, and that is looking like it's providing enough pressure to get all the way down here. These are now going. What's production doing? We are, I don't know if it's been a full minute yet, probably not, but on 5-second basis it's jumping all over the place, but you can see that yellow, well, you sort of can't. I suppose we need to wait for a full minute. Yellow is round the 80 now, which I mean, this will take a little while to ramp up to, but that was kind of what we wanted. Well, 90 really, but and there's 15 here, so it was really only 14 that were provided for. 15 just made more sense in terms of these guys, so every now and then the 15th might run. And that's totally fine. Quite sure how we ended up with batteries just there, but never mind, they're fine. So that is the first part. Now let's have a look at how this copper's doing. 475, it's not doing well. So the next bit is to create one of these connections to add in here. Let me check the blueprints I have to see if any of these are particularly... that is actually pretty much what I want. Don't know how well is that going to work in reverse. Where's the car? Probably up here by green circuits, is it? There. Run over to our little bit of path. Now, fixing that for the science, I mean, admittedly we're doing sciences that we don't really need, but it is possible that we'll do some infinite research still using the science in this facility. It is possible. Right, here we are. My little weak bots get to work. And does this one work for me, or is it all over the place in not a good way? It could work for me. If I went there. So if we were to change the signaling like this, and then fit that like so. Have a sip of coffee. Yes, we need another signal right there. It'd be nice if I could squeeze one in there, but I can't, but that's alright. These things will be fine. Yeah, we're using yellow here. We need to upgrade this to red, and I need to put a balancer in here. So let's do that, I guess. I mean, you can see how weak this is coming through now. It's not compressed at all. We seem to be coping, but maybe it's getting worse and worse, so let's not rely on that. Hopefully the copper mine will be able to support this. I'll do what I did on the iron side, which was basically to prioritize the expanding of our existing factory. Whoops, that's not the way that should go. The existing local supply, and supplement it in the first instance with the supply from here. sure my bots think they're doing something useful, but it's hard to be sure. Be sure myself. The coal that they're bringing out here, certainly, whatever they're doing with that is probably fine. Why? No, I don't need all of that. I wasn't even thinking. We don't need those. It's a box and inserter too many. And we need to make sure we're getting some chests. I'm not making the iron chests, so they'll have to be steel ones. Well, let's set up priorities while we think about it. And up here, finally, oops. There we go. Power. Oh, train station. And this one will be copper 1, unload. And coal. Do I have any normal transport belt on me? Not at all. Oh well, it's going to have to be fed via red for now. That's fine. And power. Do I have any medium poles? I do. Sorry, I mean the big poles. There we go. So that is now in effect. What we need to finish it off is a train. Let's go and grab a train. Yeah, this dismal little supply is not holding up. Train, so we want 4 of those and 4 of those. One more, thanks. Thank you. Whoops, let's go. Don't know why I jumped out of the car. Thanks, autosave. let's use these boxes first of all. And we've finally finished the atomic bomb research, which probably means that there's fairly slim pickings left in terms of research's period, but we will get rid of what is here. We've only got these, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got like 6 researches we can do, and then it's all done. Until infinite researches. You are going to go to copper 1 until inventory full, and then you are going to go to copper 1 unload until inventory empty. And as soon as you have a decent amount of coal, which I think you do now, off you go. Join the queue. So, that's fixed up the limitations of our starter base. Anything we do from now on is pretty much for seriously building the Hyperbase rather than worrying about this old thing. It does look like we have a little bit of green circuits down here, so really what we want next is solar. I know in the past I have gone to nuclear for a temporary option. Aside from the fact that on our map at the moment there is no source of nuclear. There's a little bit more iron here, there's a bit more iron here. There is, oh wow, there's quite a lot of oil there and there. How's that doing? We've probably made no impact on that whatsoever. But there is no, I deliberately turned down uranium, they just get in the way after a while. So we won't be having a uranium phase. What we will do is get into building solar. I'll probably build it up here. And we're going to be using the recursive blueprints to do that. So that should be something to look forward to. Wow, I've got quite a bit of traffic coming in here now. The double platform here should handle whatever we're throwing at it pretty easily. So it would be nice if we could actually build a bit. Let me just see how long this stuff takes to build. It takes 10 seconds to build. We're going to want a lot. Wow, that is a lot of electric circuits. If I said I wanted like one of these a second for a sort of starter build here, because as we expand we're going to need quite a lot of production. But yeah, 1 a second would probably work pretty well for me. I guess the accumulators are the same, are they? 5 batteries every 10 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see if I'm actually making enough batteries or whether we need to expand batteries. But I think we can expand batteries if we need to. Let's just see if there's room. This is batteries here. I mean, we could certainly just keep on going up here. There's no reason this can't extend in both directions. So yeah, there's room to expand batteries. You can see how cheap these techs are. We've almost finished this one. So yeah, I think 10 solar panels sounds like a good bet. What are the ingredients? Copper, steel, and electronic circuit. We could combine a copper and steel and have an electronic circuit come in. So that would be, actually, should we just go back to yellow belt for this? Because we're providing from yellow, so it probably makes sense. get rid of that stuff. Just to provide me some space. Auto trash. Let's de-auto trash those for the moment. Get, say, 600 of that. Stock up just a little bit. That appears to be all we need. Now, a combined belt and a green circuit belt. Might need a little bit more space. First of all, how about completely useless follower robot count? We'll build this build where we can pass the green circuits to. Have them dictate basically where it should be. So it's down a couple of steps. We don't actually need to jam all of these builds hard up against each other. We can leave ourselves a bit of a pathway here even. And at some point we are going to need to start building the reinforced concrete. We should be able to build it now. Concrete, reinforced concrete, yeah. It's just a way of it burning through your stuff even faster, but yeah. So, what did we need again? We needed copper and steel. Copper and steel. Okay, that should be easy enough. That would put steel onto it. Might need to come up to there so that we can then run copper through to there. Like so, which means that has to go through like so. Copper, I want to put one of these things in, and fortunately it fits just perfectly. Love to claim credit for planning that, but I obviously didn't plan it, so we're going to have to make do without claiming that. There we go. So there are our two lines of things. Oh look, I've got an assembly machine 3 there now. Let's just keep these in line. I think that means about there, does it? Yep. And one. So that should be enough for 1 a second. Why 1 a second? Seems like a number that this factory ought to be able to handle. It's about the only reason, really. inserters. And fast inserters, or do we just want to use stack inserters? Probably just use stack inserters. But the output may as well just be fast inserters. I do have some good. And I haven't exactly decided what we are going to do with these yet. It's going to have to wait for the next episode, I think. So we obviously need to make accumulators, and then we need to set up a train. But actually I could just about set up the train. The train could more or less come up to here, I suppose. What do I need for accumulators? Iron and batteries. It's not very hard, really, is it? Quickly. Reverse this thing with an accumulator build, and then it doesn't really matter what we do. Accumulators. I mean, we actually need more of the panels than we need the accumulators, but this will be fine. What was it? Iron and battery. So battery needs to be the closer one because it's the higher volume, and that one needs to be iron. Oops, I needed one more. That should do for that, and batteries needs to come through to there. They should be up here somewhere. They are. But we slightly stupidly decided we didn't need batteries past this point, so we did that, but we actually did need them past that point. Probably won't need them past that point though. Oh, this is only going to happen if... Right, well, let's just do this then. They should all end up coming through this way, and you can have an input priority of the other side. Next tech, uranium ammo. Right. stack inserter. Oops. Because we may as well. We're only using 5 a second, so that should be enough. Eventually all the machines, we're only providing 6 a second, assuming we actually have a compressed belt. I guess we'll see soon enough. But yeah, there you go. They're all running. They'll have to do us, guys. Lights. Just make some. Next episode we will set up a train to pick up this, plus the other things that we need in our build. Did I bring over my build? I don't think I did. We'll use this because I think it's a decent build. I don't want to just do one little square at a time, so doing this sort of 4 squares thing is fine. And we will get recursive blueprints to lay it down repeatedly for us, so that we can just basically set it and forget it. That's the idea, and we'll start trying to do that next episode. Thanks for joining me for this. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye bye for now.